What is up, guys? My name is AK, back again with another YouTube video. In today's video, I'm going through all the settings that you're going to use in Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War to play the best that you can. So if you've been playing COD for a while, you might have noticed all of the settings that have been added in this game, and really Modern Warfare was the first one that added so much setting customization, but it might get a bit confusing to those of you that maybe haven't played for so long and you're not sure what all of the settings do, but you still want to play as best as you can. So in today's video, I'll be going through what I use, what I found to work best, as well as listening to the pros, seeing what they find works best, and yeah, I've put it all together into something that I think should be very helpful. So without further ado, let's jump straight into that. So how this is going to work, I'm basically going to go through all the settings that I think are most important and most affect competitive, and basically just show you the settings that that I tend to use. So we're going to be skipping keyboard and mouse. Don't use keyboard and mouse, so if you do, you're going to have to come up with your own settings for that. But essentially, I tend to play obviously on a high as refresh rate as your monitor can handle. Make sure to throw that on. But field of view is a very important one for competitive. I play at 100, which is increased slightly from the last video I did where I talked about it, which was my 60 field of view challenge. In that I said 95. I've slightly upped it to 100, just because I feel it gives you a little bit more towards the edge of the screen, and that yeah, that makes it just a little bit more comfortable with seeing yeah, a wider field of view. So I wouldn't play any more than like 105, 110. That's probably the limit that you're going to play for competitive, and I wouldn't play anything lower than 90, 85 maybe. But again, just use something that feels comfortable for you. I'd recommend 95 to 100 is probably the sweet spot. Also, make sure to put ADS field of view on affected. Essentially, that means that as you aim down sight, your field of view actually zooms in a little bit, and yeah, it just gives you a better sort of targeting on people because yeah, they're bigger on the screen. Also, make sure to turn motion blur off. It's really annoying to play with, and if you haven't noticed that it's actually on there, make sure you turn it off. It's annoying to play with. You've probably already turned it off, to be fair. Now on audio, I actually turn the music off just because at the start of games I don't want the music getting in the way of any team communication or callouts that we're playing at the start. But yeah, that's really personal preference. Now, moving on to the important ones, this is the controller settings. So for sensitivity, I play 5.5. Now, I play with a sub, so I guess for sub players, I think anywhere between 5.5 to 6.6 is probably the best sort of zone for you. For people that play AR, I tend that to be to 4.4 to 5.5, just because you want a bit slower so that you can kill people from a distance. But if you're jumping around, spinning around, you're going to want that a bit faster. So 5.5 to 6.6 for subs, and then 4.4 to 5.5 for ARs. I also play with 0.9 stick sensitivity on zoom, so that actually means that this is 5.5, and then aiming down sight and spinning will be 4.5, 4.5. Just slows it down a little bit, helps you shoot your bullets a bit more accurate, and yeah, I find it to be quite helpful. Some people actually play this on 1.1, and some people just keep it on 1. I personally put it on 0.9 just because the sensitivity is quite fast for moving around, and then when you aim down sight, you want to make sure you're hitting your shots. For high zoom, I keep that as 1. I don't really snipe, so you probably have to ask someone that snipes a lot to find out what's best for that. Now, onto the aim curve response type. I actually played dynamic, which I think there's two options that you really want to play. That's either standard or dynamic. Now, SMGs benefit a lot from dynamic. It gives you that nice, fast, spinning, locking on, good shot. ARs can play standard fairly well. I'd really recommend dynamic for subs, and then either standard or dynamic for ARs, whatever works best for you. But again, it is a personal preference thing. Try it out yourself. See if dynamic works for you. If you think it doesn't, go play standard. I would stay away from linear. It's probably the least good out of them all. But yeah, give dynamic a go if you haven't already. If you like it, stick with it. If not, just strike back on standard, no problem. Now, of course, you're going to make sure you've got aim assist turned on. If you don't, you're probably getting absolutely destroyed. But then the target aim assist mode, I actually put on legacy. So the two or the three that you could potentially try are standard, legacy, or focusing. Legacy is what I found to be the best. Definitely don't play precision. It sounds like as competitive players you'd want to use that, because it says best for accurate players, but really it's just a weaker aim assist. I don't really know why you'd want to use it. It's not very good. So if you use standard, legacy, or focusing, I personally use legacy. Works quite well with the dynamic curve response type. I play dynamic legacy. You get quite a lot of people that play standard, which is fair enough, but again, it's another one that you're going to want to put some time into each of them, play them in the game, and just see what you find works best. Now, with the minimum input threshold thing, I actually play these quite low. I play them on 5 just because I've got a new controller, so there's not going to be much stick drift going on at the moment. But as and when you do start to notice a bit of stick drift, just up them slightly to the point where the stick drift no longer happens. You want to play on the minimum possible that you can, just because that way you'll get the fastest input, I guess, when you're playing. Now this one's a bit controversial. Officially, auto sprint is GA'd and you're not meant to use it, but I'm not being funny. I don't want to have to buy a new controller every week because one person doesn't like the fact you can use auto sprint, so I use it anyway. I don't really care what people say. Auto sprint is going to help make your thumbsticks and your controller last a lot longer, to stop you getting that drift that you sometimes get with heavily used controllers. So I do actually turn that on. Don't tell anyone, please. Now I guess I should also mention actually the button layout that I play. I just play on a standard button layout. You see, you do get some people that play tactical. Really, I think it's default or tactical is what most people play. I actually play default simply because I've got the paddles on the back of the controller that I can use to do everything else, and I do actually utilize all paddles. I know some people have 4 paddles but only use the A and B, or the, I don't even know, I can't remember what the PS equivalents are, but essentially you get some people that use that, but I use all of the paddles, and so for me it just works absolutely fine to just keep it on the default layout. So that's about it for today's video. Hopefully you guys found it helpful. Let me know what settings you use down in the comments below if you use anything different that you think works well. I'll be interested to hear what you guys use, because it is, at the end of the day, down to personal preference. You use what you think you play best with, but for those of you that don't have a clue what any of these settings might be, this should at least give you some guidance to work out what you sort of want to be doing. But that's it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to smash the like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.